Hi, I'm going to talk about bottle 39 today, 3 and 9, 39. It's called The Puppeteer. The colours are violet and gold. And I'm going to talk about both a challenge of this bottle and then also about the gift of this bottle. I worked for Orosoma through the 90s, and there was a big discussion in the 90s about whether we should only talk about bottles positively. My personal opinion, color is neutral. Color is neither positive or negative. Color is simply energy. When you have, when you meet color, when you're in proximity to color, and when color is resonating with you, it will show what's inside of you. If you have fears or difficult emotions, then they can be stimulated by the color with which they resonate. That doesn't make the color bad. It doesn't really make you bad. It just means that what's normally something inside that is difficult to live with is now brought to the surface. The reason it's brought to the surface is so we can become more conscious of it. In becoming more conscious of something, you begin to gain some freedom from it. And so really, I think Orosoma and Equilibrium is about helping people come to freedom through consciousness. Now, to go to this particular bottle 39, I think there's a challenge I want to talk about, and then I'm going to show you the gift of the bottle and how one leads to the other, how one solves the other. And I'm going to pick out a couple of sentences from these original sentences from Vicky Wall and Mike Booth, inspirational sentences connected to the bottle. So we have here the idealistic crusader, the gathering of knowledge, the love of fantasy and dreams. What's in common with those three things is that they're all in the head. Idealistic crusader, gathering of knowledge, love of fantasy and illusion. It's all going on in the head, which is in fact the top fraction of the bottle. Violet corresponds to the crown chakra. So you've got this energizing in the thinking. And where is that energizing coming from? What is it connected to that's driving it? Well, in this case, when you see the gold underneath, you can think about fear and anxiety. Yes, gold is also happiness and joy, absolutely. Other things too. But in this particular instance, it can be fear and anxiety. And let me give you a couple of examples to help you. Say you're a teenager and you've discovered the opposite sex, and there's someone you like and you want to go and talk to them, and you don't know how they're going to respond to you. Just think about how difficult it is to make that approach in front of your school friends, or how are you going to, you've got to risk to approach them. And it's important for you. And you can be thinking about, you can think and think and think. You know, what's the right time? What should I say? All before you even get to the moment of actually action. And another example, let's say you've had some physical pain, you've been to the doctor, they've done some tests, and now you're going to go for the results. In fact, even before you go to the doctor, let's say you've got some pain, you think you need to go to the doctor, you don't even want to go. It's scary to go because maybe there is something wrong, and maybe you don't want to know if there's something wrong. Or while you're waiting for the results of the test, so you're thinking and thinking and thinking. Fear and anxiety driving thinking. So that's, in a way, a challenge that this color combination can touch. So what's the solution for that? I think there's a couple of sentences about it, but before I look for those, what I want to say is meditation. In some ways, there's no easy way through this. I'm sure you could relate to those previous two examples, and I'm sure you can find examples of your own. When something's important for us and we're not sure how it's going to go, and it means something to us, we can be afraid if it doesn't go as we want it to go. And then we can start thinking about it. So the thinking is not going to make anything different, not make any difference to the result. The result is it's just a fact. It's just something that we do, isn't it? That in the face of the unknown, we can try and bring our thinking muscle, our thinking skill will try and solve the problem for us, will try and protect us. And so, of course, one way to solve it is just do it. And I think one of the sentences here is one finds freedom through action. So that's one of the sentences there, freedom through action. Yes, you can just do it. But in any case, the tendency is still there. The tendency to when you're afraid, to try and think your way out of the situation, to try and manage potential problems of the situation. And even if you manage the problems of this particular situation, you've still got that same tendency next week, next month, next year, in other situations. So what's the deeper solution for this problem? Get to know better our, to be able to be better with our fears and to be able to trust more in relation to the situations in life that we're going to meet. Now, it's very interesting that one of the bottles in, so this is bottle 39, and within that, I know it's not the right, it doesn't look quite the same, but that should be a gold, and that's pink, and pink is in violet, and gold go together. And this bottle is called trust. And if you trust, if you can come to that place within which is equal to the situation, if you can come to the place within which is relaxed in the face of the challenges of the world, then you can meet those challenges without falling into fear or without being consumed by fear. You can keep a positive gold, and this is where we go now to the positive side of the gold, a positive golden vibration within yourself in the face of the challenges of the world. And trust in yourself, trust it will be all right. Trust in your in the spiritual dimension. And I think this brings us to the meaning of the name of the bottle. The name of the bottle is puppeteer. So you have a puppet, and then you have a puppeteer who's pulling the strings. And I think it's a really interesting name for this bottle, because the question becomes then, if there's a puppeteer, then who's the puppet? And I'm suggesting to you that you don't want to have fear pulling your strings. You don't want to be a puppet to your emotional fear and anxiety. Become a puppet to your trust, the part within you, which is present, your spiritual self that's present and is sees the challenges of this life in the right perspective. And trust yourself to meet those challenges. There's a thing that's, likes to be said in the New Age community, that you're not given bigger challenges than you can deal with. So just relax and trust that you can meet the challenge of the situation, and trust the puppeteer who's within you. Let the gold within you pull the strings to the challenges of your life. And I think there's a couple more sentences. Let go of the fear in the past and find healing in the conscious level. Fear in the past, healing in the conscious level. But here's the one I really want to read. The liberation of the mind allows the use of one's full resource. So if you can relax that overthinking and trying to strategize and cope with the problem before you get there, and just relax with that, and then your full resource, which is from the gold, and in fact from the magenta beyond the gold, from your kind of bigger spiritual dimension, you can bring your deeper resources to act spontaneously in the moment, to deal with the situation from a more enlightened perspective. Okay, so that's it for today, 39. See you tomorrow.